Hi everyone, it's me, Beata Kelly Sunflower. So I thought I'd hop on today and do a flip through and first impressions of my latest tarot book. And this book is called The Tarot Spellbook, 78 Witchy Ways to Use Your Tarot Deck for Magic and Manifestation. And it's by Samantha Magdaleno. Let's have a look at the back of the book. So it says, tap into the magic and manifestation of tarot. Connecting with the 78 cards of the tarot in a meaningful way can be overwhelming. Oftentimes, tarot students will spend hours poring over reference books and memorizing meanings rather than actually using the cards themselves. The Tarot Spellbook gives you a fun way to learn the cards and a practical way to work with them beyond divination and reading. The Tarot Spellbook is a journey through the cards of the tarot deck, providing a unique spell that corresponds with each card. Each of the 78 spells is categorized into one of 8 popular spell categories, and it's got self, change, love, money, career, guidance, protection, and home. Looking to manifest your desires? See the Magician card and spell. Need to find clarity? Work with the Moon card and spell to dispel illusion. Each spell connects to a dominant theme of the card, helping you to connect to the tarot on a personal level and furthering your knowledge of witchcraft. From candle magic to spell jars to ritual baths and more, the Tarot Spellbook utilizes multiple types of spell work to truly aid you in expanding your magical practice. Let's turn this around. So this is a hardback book. Let me see how many pages this book has. So it has 192 pages. Look at this gorgeous pink inside. So it's published by a company called Fair Winds, which I've never heard of before. For Scarlet, may you always believe in your inner magic. Okay, so let's have a look at the content page. So the content page has got like a picture. This looks like, to me, it could be the Knight of Cups because it's got the helmet and stuff. But in this one, it's coming out of a cauldron rather than a horse. So with the contents page, I actually like the way this has been kind of written up. It's really clear, nice big font. So it's got the introduction with a page number next to it, how to use this book. Then in part 1, it's got making magic. So that's setting up for spell work, magical timings, sigil magic, making magic yours, the most important ingredients in any spell. And part 2 is about spells, the major and minor arcana. So for example, the Fool, it says gather the courage to start something new. So that, I'm assuming that's the spell, and it gives you the page number next to it. And it does that as well for the minor arcana. So every single card in the major and minor arcana has been designated a spell. And then it's got lists of spells by subject, acknowledgement, bibliography, about the author, about the illustrator, and the index. Introduction. Hey, Magic Babe, I'm so glad you're here. Are you ready to work with tarot in a whole new way? I'm always looking for ways to deepen my connection to the cards, and I'm excited to share with you ways to work with tarot beyond spreads and readings. The Tarot Spellbook helps you deepen your knowledge of the cards and provides ways to work with tarot in your craft. As a professional tarot reader, I know that tarot can be tricky to get comfortable with. We can read about card meanings until we're blue in the face, but when it comes time to actually take action, what then? it can be hard to find a clear-cut way to utilize the cards in your everyday life. When I was beginning my journey, I found it helpful to place the cards into real-life contexts to become more familiar with them. Tarot is now my favorite magical tool, in part because no matter what situation I find myself in, there's at least one card that relates and can offer wisdom and insight. And as you see in the Tarot Spellbook, the lessons of tarot naturally lend themselves to everyday Spellbook. This book helps you translate the teachings of the cards into spells that you can use as you go through the different chapters, obstacles, and transitions of life. I'm so happy you picked this book. The Tarot Spellbook offers a way to truly connect with tarot. So grab a warm drink, cozy up on the couch with your tarot deck, and take a few deep breaths. Learning about the cards is about to get easier and a lot more fun. Let's go. So she talks about how to use this book. Before we dive into the ways to use Tarot Spellbook, let's talk about who can use it. Basically, this book is for any kick-ass witch who picks it up. Witches of every experience, level and path can find meaning and connection within these spells. You do not have to be Wiccan to practice witchcraft or use this book. The Tarot Spellbook is beginner friendly. It was written to further your knowledge of tarot and help you learn. You do not have to be a tarot expert to use the cards in spell work. Part of the intention behind including tarot cards in spell work is to learn more about tarot as you work with the cards. Okay, time to dive in. The spells in this book are based on the illustrations created by Pamela Coleman-Smith for the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which is generally regarded as the first modern tarot deck. If you're interested in furthering your knowledge in tarot, which I suspect you are, I encourage you to learn about Pamela Coleman-Smith and her contributions to the world of art and occult. Here are ways you can use and work with the Tarot Spellbook. And then she talks about to further knowledge and connection with the cards, to dive deeper into card meanings, to reflect on your relationship with the card. And it says here, as a spellbook, who would have thought, right? The Tarot Spellbook was written to be used as an everyday spellbook, even if furthering your knowledge and connections with the cards comes secondary to the spells themselves. Remember, the lessons of tarot extend to all aspects of life. There are spells for all your basics, from big life lessons of the major arcana to the smaller everyday workings of the minor arcana. So this card here looks like the Ace of Wands, doesn't it? So part one, making magic. What I like about the way that this is kind of like divided up is that the text is written on black background with white ink, and I usually find that quite difficult to read from, but because the actual print and font is big, it's actually quite easy to read and it flows. One of the great things about witchcraft is that you get to make your magic yours. Each witch has a different practice and is worth taking time to find the ways you're most comfortable. So it talks about setting up spell work. So it's read the spell completely beforehand, gather your supplies, find a quiet space that is free of any distractions, set the mood, cleanse your space and tools, establish your intentions, and cast a circle. Then it talks about cleansing basics. So for example, it says here, there are many ways to cleanse your tools and space. Try these. Use a dry herbal wand, incense or saltwater spray. Create sound vibration with bells, a singing bowl, a cymbals, or simply visualize a protective and cleansing light. If you don't have any cleansing tools, visualization will do the trick in a pinch. Visualize a bright light cleansing your space and your spellwork tools. To cleanse each tool or ingredients, hold your chosen cleansing method above it and say your intentions. To cleanse your space, take your chosen cleansing method to the corners of the room, windows and doorways. Say aloud your intentions to cleanse the space. Some examples of intentions setting language could be as simple as, with this chosen, and then in brackets chosen tool, I cleanse and purify this space. A more complex cleansing intention could sound something like, I ask my guides or deities, ancestors or angels, be with me as I cleanse and purify this space. I, with this chosen tool, release all previous energy as I prepare this space. And then in brackets got kind of spell work. So it is. Then it talks about how to cast circles. I mean, it's got magical timings, which I think this is quite interesting. So it talks about the moon phases. It talks about the new moon, the waxing moon, the full moon, the waning moon, and the dark moon. And then it gives you the magical properties for each moon and what it's ideal for. So if I read the first one, for example, it says, new moon, magical properties. The new moon is the start of a new lunar cycle, a time for new beginnings and a fresh start. During this phase, the moon is recharging its batteries, gathering energy for the coming lunar cycle. The new moon is a time for reflection, to look inward and ask yourself what you desire. And if you do a spell in the new moon, it says it's ideal for new beginnings in any area of your life, fresh starts and establishing intentions. Now this is also very interesting. This talks about the days of the week. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. I'm going to read out Thursday for an example, and the reason being is because I watched a video by, I think it was Rochelle from Amethyst Ascension, and she was talking about her prosperity altar, and she says that she tends to do prosperity spells on a Thursday. So let's see what it says about Thursday. So it says ruling planet is Jupiter. Magical focus is growth, lack, expansion, abundance, legal matters, money influence, accomplishments and businesses. So she is kind of right because she's talking about prosperity, which I link with abundance. I'm also going to read Sunday because that's the day I was born and my favourite day of the week. Ruling planet is the sun. Magical focus is generosity, health, healing, strength, creativity, confidence, illumination, hope and success. Then this book also talks about the times of the day, so, if you want to set a particular spell, look for the times of the day. So it's got here sunrise, morning, noon, sunset, night and midnight. So I'm going to read morning because I'm very much a morning person. So for the morning, the magical properties, it says morning tends to be when the mind is most awake and alert, after coffee, of course, making it a good time to practice magic that relates to the conscious mind. It then goes on to talk about sigil magic. It talks about how to create a sigil for yourself. Talks about making magic yours and the most ingredient in any spell. It says it here. And then part two talks about the actual spells. So this looks like to me the Ace of Cups. Time to shine up your cauldron and dust off your tarot decks. Now it's the part where you work with your tarot cards in a whole new way. Through spell work, in this section you can gain a deeper understanding and connection with your tarot cards by utilizing them in spells created to help you live your most aligned and magical AF life. This is interesting because the creator talks about Pamela Coleman Smith tarot deck, but it doesn't look like she's used that deck for her illustrations, and it'd be nice to know what deck this is. I mean, it'll probably say it in the book at some point. The Major Arcana. The first 22 cards of the tarot deck, the Major Arcana, encompass significant events, lessons and obstacles. The spell related to the Major Arcana are ones you're likely to turn to when going through big life changes. Okay, so now we're on to the spells. So for the 4, it's got gather the courage to start something new. Keywords are new beginning, adventure, and freedom. Have you been stalling at the starting line, trying to master up the courage to get going? The 4 encourages you to just start. A card of new beginnings, the 4 is daring, carefree, and spontaneous, and the energy of the 4 is infinite. The 4 doesn't spend too much time planning things because the 4 has faith that they'll work out along the way. You know that deep in your gut. You're ready for this, babe? It terrifies you in the best way. You're on the precipice of something great if only you could start. In this spell, you'll work with the 4 to gather the courage to start something new. So what you need is a small spray bottle, distilled water to fill the bottle, a few drops of rose essential oil diluted, half a teaspoon of dried rosemary, supplies to decorate your bottle, paper, markers, stickers, etc., the full tarot card. Create your spell spray by filling your spray bottle 2/3 full with distilled water. Add a few drops of rose essential oil connected to the heart chakra to inspire bravery, love. Sprinkle in dried rosemary for courage. Decorate your bottle with words and images that connect you to courage and the new something you're ready to start. Close the lid, swirl the bottle clockwise 3 times as you visualize your new beginnings. Give yourself a little spritz and picture yourself in the place of the 4, on the precipice of something new, ready to move forward. Charge your spray with energy of the 4 by setting the 4 tarot card outside under the light of the new moon or on the windowsill that gets moonlight, and placing your spell bottle on top of it. Retrieve your tarot card and spray the next morning and keep the spray on your altar. Spritz your heart chakra when you need a boost of courage as you take the next step to your new beginning. Then it gives you some journal questions, for this spell. So what would you accomplish if you let yourself begin in this new journey with full trust in yourself? If you don't take risks, your life won't change. Are you okay with that? Why or why not? What courage do you admire? How can you embody their energy? And then the layout of these spells is the same for the minor arcana. So for example, here you've got the Ace of Cups, and again it's got attract new love, which is probably the name of the spell. Keywords, opportunity, love, new beginnings. It gives you a blurb about the spell, and then again it tells you, so for example on this one, the Ace of Cups, the timings is the new moon and on a Friday. It tells you what you need, and it tells you how to go about creating that spell with the Ace of Cups tarot card. I mean, it's got some questions that you might want to pop into your journal. So that's the format for both the major and the minor arcanas. Then towards the end of the book, you have a list of spells by subject. So the subjects are self, chance, guidance, protection, love and relationships, money, career and school, and home. And for each subject, it's kind of got like a mini index where it's got the name of the spell that you might want to use for that subject, the tarot card associated with that spell, and the page number in this book. Then it gives you acknowledgements. So the creators acknowledged her husband, Logan, her editor, who is Jill Alexandra, her developmental editor, which is Jenna Nelson Patton, her mum, who's called Carrie, her cosmic Covin, and the original Tarot Witch. That's nice to call Pamela Coleman Smith an original Tarot Witch. And then it gives you a bibliography of 2 books. And for each acknowledgement, she gives like a little sentence saying why she acknowledges them for this book. And then about the author. Sam is a professional witch and tarot reader. Citrix of the popular Instagram handle Sam the Cosmic Witch. Sam offers resources on witchcraft and tarot, as well as a monthly membership centered around working with the moon magic. She specializes in demystifying witchcraft and making it practical and applicable to everyday life. Having grown up visiting Wicca shops and collecting crystals with her mum, Sam experienced the positive influence that witchcraft had on her life and is dedicated to helping others live in alignment with the inner witch. Sam is obsessed with overalls, coffee, and horror movies. She lives in Alberta, that's Canada. About the illustrator. Tanya Jacobson is a designer and illustrator based in Minnesota. You can find her illustrations and design work on coffee tables all across the globe, including titles The Thrifty Witch Book of Simple Spells and The Healed Empath, with more than a decade of accomplishing design under her belt. Tanya's award-winning work has been featured in numerous publications, including The Print, the Type Directors Club, Logo Lounge, Communication Arts, and HOW. I think that HOW is an acronym because it's in capitals, but I'd love it if they could put in brackets what that means. When she's not creating, you can find her in the woods, enjoying the outdoors year-round with her family in northern Wisconsin. Then it gives you an index. It's 1, 2, 3, 5 pages. And this index, it is in alphabetical order, and it gives you the name of the spell and the page associated with that spell, but it doesn't give you the tarot card. But then the content page is good, and the subject index is good as well. So, you know, you've got quite a lot of information to look up spells, and that's the hot pink. Wow. So what do I think of this book? I think it's really, really informative. I guess if I was going to call myself a witch, I'd probably call myself a tarot witch. I like the way it's written. It's clear. It's readable. It's clear. It flows. You know, it's full of information. I love that there's loads of indexes for you to look up spells. I like the timings, for example, the days of the week, the moon phases, and how you can incorporate that when you're doing your tarot spells. It's just wonderful. I actually subscribe to a witchy subscription box called the Witch Casket, and we get tons of ingredients and we get spell jars and stuff like that. And I've got a whole bag full of unused ingredients. And so this book will be a good way of me utilizing those ingredients from my monthly subscription. The only thing that I would have liked to have known is the name of this deck, because the creator gives homage to Pamela Coleman Smith and recommends that the reader looks at her deck. But this deck is not the original Rider-Waite deck, and I was just wondering what it was called, because there's no mention of it in the book at all, unless I've missed it. So if anybody knows what this name of this deck is, do let me know in the description bar, because I'd love to know. It's quite an interesting deck. Look at all the nails on that. You know I'm into nail art, but look at all the gorgeous nails on some of the pictures. So I'm going to leave a link for this book in the description bar, should anybody be interested in purchasing this book. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.